On November 24th, 2014, I checked my phone when I woke up in Denver at 5 o'clock in the morning and saw these missed text message and phone calls. Jason's been in an accident. We don't know how he's doing. He's not going to make it. Call us. I called my brother Emilio, and he said, Jason just passed away. Jason Michael Rios was my older brother, who we loved very much, but was quite the character. I remember being a kid, and he said, let's go on a beer run. And so I get in the car, and when I'm in like first or second grade, I'm like, okay, I guess we're going to go get beer. But I remember sitting outside in the car. It wasn't parked, and I was like, why aren't we in a parking spot? And then he just ran into the car and drove away quickly. And I was like, what the heck just happened? But I also remember his faithfulness. When he had gotten out of prison the last time, he was very convinced that he needed to go to confession. And I remember it was a big deal that Sunday when he went to Father Alphonsus to go. Or once when my mom had given him money, he immediately gave it to a homeless person. She was like, what the heck? Why did you do that? You need that. And he said, well, he needed it more than me, Mom. All that to say is that my brother is a good man, but also had his trouble with the law and whatnot. And I often thought I just needed to pray for him. And so in June of 2014, I found myself unexpectedly in Mexico City and in the Church of Sagrada Familia. In that church are the bones of Miguel Pro, a martyr during the Cristiada in Mexico City. Miguel Pro, of course, was a martyr who was killed by President Calles and died saying, Viva Cristo Rey. And so as I was in this church where his body is, I got this sense that Miguel Pro wanted to be my friend, that he wanted to adopt me from heaven, and particularly pray for my family. And so I began to pray multiple novenas and prayer intentions, all for my brother Jason. I remember even specifically saying, Lord, you need to fix him. You need some help, or else he's going back to prison. Please help him through the intercession of Miguel Pro. A few months later, I found myself in the chapel on November 23rd, 2014. It was about 9 o'clock at night, the feast of Miguel Pro when he died, as well as the feast of Christ the King, and I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what to do about it, but I prayed to the Lord, offered to him, and then went to sleep. It was the next morning when I woke up and I saw those missed text messages about Jason, and then finding out that he had passed away. And immediately when I found that out, I told the Lord, Lord, I asked you to help him, not kill him. But even in the midst of all of that, I just got a sense that the Lord must be up to something. It was November 24th. Miguel's feast day was the day before. And I was just expecting. I was like, what's going on here? As I went home, I started to piece together my brother's last weeks, where it seemed like the Lord was preparing him for death. He was reconciling with different people, even asked to have this particular song played at his funeral. But most particularly, an hour before he died, he was with some friends and also with the mother of a friend whom he had disrespected in the past. For some reason, he asked for forgiveness from her, and this led to a conversation about God, and Jason got on his knees and prayed for the forgiveness of all his sins. After that, he was at a Walgreens, taking something he shouldn't have, but then ran across the street, and a car hit him. There was a witness at the scene who held my brother's hand and said that as they were waiting for the paramedics, there was this peaceful, positive energy. And there was even this person behind her who's kind of supporting her, supporting him as they waited for the paramedics to arrive. But regardless, there was this energy about the scene of my brother's accident. I later learned and realized that this was the precise time on November 23rd when I was in the chapel. Jason was able to be taken to the hospital. They found my family the next morning, and they were able to get all the family together, and the priest was able to come, and he was given last rites, and finally it was time to take him off the ventilator. I was pondering all this at his burial, and as his body was being lowered, I heard Jesus say this to my heart. Esteban, do you see how beautiful your brother's death was? Tragic, unexpected, yes, but he was provided for. He was taken care of. This is the fruit of you and your family's prayers for him. In the future, you will not know the fruit of your prayers, but remember this moment and always remember to keep praying, even if you don't see the fruit of your prayers. And so I guess what I'd just simply like to say to you is that life is hard and we do a lot of praying, but prayer means the world, even if it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Be not afraid, little ones. Keep going strong. Know that there is futility and seemingly unanswered questions in life, but know that with the Lord, all is possible, and that He wants to be with you in every single circumstance. Do not give up hope. Know you are loved, and keep going. Praying for you all.